Greetings, this is the Timeshare Traveler. Today is episode 154, the top 5 ways to use your timeshare points. So an overview, the first one is stay at your timeshare properties. The second one is push your points into the following year. The third best way, I believe, is staying at the exchanges, RCI or Interval International. The fourth is due to hotel points from your presentations. Remember, take the points. And stay at the timeshares. And lastly is everything else, the cruises, car rentals, and everything else. So before I go into the details, I'm going to tell you a little bit about my channel, and then I'll be back. Hang in there, I'll be right back. Hi, this is Cliff, and I'm the Timeshare Traveler. Welcome to my channel. The purpose of my channel is to educate those who love traveling in timeshares. I've been an owner for 15 plus years at timeshare ownership. I have elite ownership with Marriott, Hilton, and Worldmark. I have published over 100 timeshare video reviews, and I've published over 95 timeshare tips. I can be found on Facebook at Timeshare Trav, at Twitter, Timeshare Trav, and on the web at www.timesharetraveler.com. Well, I'm back, and let me talk about the number one way, which is stay at the timeshare properties. And the whole industry was built around actually staying there. The whole maintenance fees were built around paying for the maintaining of the buildings and so forth, and that's what they were intended. It's much cheaper than renting the timeshare if you try to do it on one of the locations, or paying cash via a travel site if it's even available. Again, your maintenance fees are for the maintenance of the units. If you travel off peak, you can vacation even longer. The longer your planning horizon is, the more chance you stay where you want. I should point out that usually when you use it to transition to something else, there's almost always a fee because it's another partner that's involved, and so that dilutes your actual direct money. That's why ultimately staying at your timeshare property is the absolute number one. And probably not surprising, number two is push your points to the following year. So some timeshare companies give you 2 years. Some people have a used year and you can push it to the following year. And so it's really the same way of doing it. It's just delaying the use of them to a following year, or in some ways you can combine 2 years and actually have what would be considered like a super vacation. So, and again, some years you just can't use the points. Saving them to next year can be free or require a transaction fee. So sometimes there's a cost, and all the different timeshares are different. There's not a lot of restrictions that I've found in saving my points to the following year. And again, my favorite is to do that in order to have take all the family, the relatives and so forth on a vacation, and do that the following year versus doing a smaller vacation in 1 year. And if you don't have that many points, that's probably a really good idea to do that. Anyway, hope that helps. My third most favorite way of using the timeshares is using the exchange, the RCI or Interval International. That's the II. And I say second best here in the slide, but that's because it's behind the ones that are basically the same. My favorite use of exchange is actually either the last call, which is RCI, or getaway, which is Interval International, as they don't really require any points. They're typically shorter windows, 45 days, 60 days, a window of travel, and it's just $1 amount. And usually it's cheaper than your maintenance fee, so it's actually a bargain. It's really the resorts that are not fully utilized, and those points get put on the market where they want to get something for their money. Again, if you do an exchange, there's typically fees that are required for the exchange booking, and that's why timeshare points are best used in the network, so you don't have to send them to one of the exchanges. And just as a byproduct also, if you own Worldmark, Interval is a great way to book Marriott. In fact, I've done maintenance cost comparisons of how much maintenance fees, which is really taking the number of points you need to book something and comparing that cost per point to figure out how much it costs. It's actually cheaper to book Marriott with Worldmark through Interval International than it is to book it direct in many cases, although you can't always get the highly desirable areas. So there are it's not perfect. Next up is use hotel points from presentations, stay at timeshares. Actually, you can use them from anywhere, how you got them, but I always want to, and I'm lecturing, always take the points when you do a presentation because they go the furthest, in my opinion. All those points you got for attending the presentation, always take the points. Use those points to actually book timeshares. You can do that, at least Hilton and Marriott I made able to do that, and you can also do it through Wyndham Rewards on the Club Wyndham and WorldMark. So in all three timeshares I own, there's a possibility. You also use those points to book what I call timeshare light. And in the case, look at hotels that offer kitchens, and they're similar to timeshares. They're going to have pools, maybe not as nice, but they're similar. So again, Hilton has Homewood Suites and Home 2 Suites and a few others. Marriott has Residence Inn and a few other brands as well. So those are great opportunities to use the points you've got from your presentations or from your credit cards or whatever to actually book and stay at timeshares. And then lastly, there's the other category, which is cruise, rentals, and everything else. And these type of transactions almost always have fees associated with them because you're dealing with a partner, so now everybody has their profit motive, so you're paying profit on top of profit. I found it sometimes cheaper to book a cruise direct than it would be to use my points or a car or a flight. When you figure out how much it costs, when you take the maintenance fees and figure out what the cost per point is and how many points it takes, and you look at the cost, it's almost many times cheaper to book it directly yourself. Again, but many people take a look at this option as better than losing the points, and I can't necessarily disagree with it. It's just the least cost-effective way to use your timeshare points. That's my point, not that you should or shouldn't do it. And then there are other options, is converting timeshare points to hotel points, and in my case I can do that with all of the programs. I mean, the last one is WorldMark will now be doing that in 2024. And then using timeshare points to pay maintenance, and that's capable, I think, across all the different timeshares I own. Anyway, that's my video. Hope you like it. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already.